is? Ever since I caught that fish, my casting game
On point.
is on point.
We got focus. Dialed in.
Oh, yes, sir. Hang on to it. Feels like a good one. Get in there, baby.
Shame if she pulled off.
Pads. Oh, God damn it.
Wow. Had me like, oh, it's so weird. Had me over some reeds. Bad hook set. That was a good fish. Saw that one. Shit. That's not good.
Damn it, dude. Oh, bite?
Yeah.
Oh, Rich.
I'm sorry, man. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Fill the Limit Fishing. This is another episode of Tournament Tips and Lessons Learned. What I'm going to talk about tonight is basically what happened in February. The team tournament I fished with my buddy Nick in February was our first tournament on Istokpoga. We were pretty excited to fish it, to be honest. We didn't have anything super solid in mind. You know, we did some map studies. We had fished at Istokpoga a couple times at this point, but by no means, you know, do we know what's going on out there, you know, like some of these other local studs. But like I said, we picked an area on the map. We had a game plan. We had kind of a hunch that the fish were going to be coming up to spawn. You know, in Florida, January, February, March, and into the beginning of April, you know, you get the spawning wave where you can, you know, have a chance to catch a big female, and that's what we were kind of basing what we were going to do that day. We felt like we were going to catch some bedding fish and not necessarily see them because Istokpoga is as brown as chocolate milk, but we knew we were going to have to slow down and really grind it out and hope to get, you know, a few of those key bites, those key spawning bites. And we did, you know. We were fortunate enough to pick a very good area along the North Shore, and right off the bat, very soon in the morning, we found out we were on to something special. Nick actually stuck a 5-pounder. It was probably 9:30 in the morning on a stick bait, flipping in the pads. And in the morning we tried some other stuff. I would think I was throwing a swim jig and skinny dipper and a big easy, and just trying a spinner bait and a buzz bait, trying to cover some water in the morning. I even threw a devil's horse, but no takers. You know, it wasn't until that 9:30 bite, that flipping bite, that really told us something. You know, from that point on, he got that 5-pounder in the boat. we were committed. That's what we were doing. We were flipping. And that really lit a fire under us. It was a good fish. Unfortunately, I had my camera messed up. Didn't get that one on video. And I had the camera set up more so on me on the front dash. But you know, we're improving on that to get more of a full boat experience. Nonetheless, we took that bite and we ran with it, and we stayed in our area and kept the flipping sticks in our hands and pitched and flipped and pitched and flipped, and I caught a solid fish that almost went 5 pounds. It was 4 and some change, I think, but it was a very good fish. That was our second keeper. We had a good bag going, you know, we almost had 10 pounds, 2 fish, you know, things were going good. And then I'll try and find some footage and hopefully I'll roll it back, and you've already seen it at the start of this video, but that's when stuff started going downhill, okay? We were losing fish, all right? The bites were very consistent. Every 30 to 45 minutes apart, maybe no more than an hour, we were getting bit, but the fish were coming unbuttoned. It was that finicky, weird spawning bite, you know, when they're not really wanting to eat, but they just kind of nip at it, pick it up, want to swat it out of the bed, whatever you call it. It was weird, okay? And it was happening, and it was really throwing me for a loop because I was getting a lot of the bites. And Nick was getting some too, and the same thing was happening to him. But I feel terrible at what happened just because I felt like overall my hook setting game was off point, and I wasn't getting a good penetration in the fish's mouth on my hook sets. So, you know, and I was throwing a Gambler burner worm, the 7-inch burner worm, and the June bug, and I was flipping that on a 3/8 ounce tungsten weight, and that was the deal for me. I switched to a burner crawl later in the day as I was missing those bites. You know, I was thinking maybe they were just picking up the tail or whatnot, but I even missed a fish on that burner crawl. So, you know, the biggest key for that day for me to get those bites, and I know we didn't land them, if you watch the video, and please do check it out. It's the February Istokpoga tournament where we placed 8th. Check that out. But, you know, the key for me was slowing down and really slowing down, like making that pitch and letting that worm soak, you know, and barely, you know, moving it back to the boat. Of course, being efficient and covering water, but that first initial drop, letting it sit there and soak, you know, and that's when a lot of those bites were coming, as that worm or bait was soaking in there. So that was key. Another thing that was very important in that tournament was, you know, having confidence in your area that you pick. We had gotten some bites. I started missing fish, you know, and the doubt started, you know, coming in. The wheels were spinning in my head, you know. I picked up the trolling motor, fired up the big motor, and went a little further west to an area, trying to look for, you know, more fish, you know, like anybody would do when things aren't going your well. And, you know, we probably lost an hour of fishing time, at least. And we didn't get any bites to the area we moved. It was stagnant, you know, it didn't feel good. Had this gut instinct, I've been there before. Do not leave fish to go find fish. You hear it all the time. We were getting bites. We picked up the trolling motor and left. You know, just because things aren't going your way, if there's fish in an area, you need to buckle down and slow down and recompose and really fish that area to your strengths. Because when we came back, it wasn't but a matter of minutes where we started getting bites again. Of course, you know, I think at that point we only boated one more keeper, and that was Nick on the back of the boat. And I didn't get that on camera either, obviously, but it was a small keeper, but it was a keeper nonetheless. So, you know, be true to yourself, stick to your area, have confidence in your area, don't leave it to go find fish. Slow down and take your time, and I guarantee you, you're going to put more fish in the boat. And last but not least, I'll have to roll it. You know, I almost deleted it, but I just checked. I still have the footage. Um, since you're dragged down all the way, okay, it seems like a no-brainer when you're fishing with 65-pound test braided line and big heavy wire flipping hooks and heavy vegetation. Cinch it down all the way. Don't give them an inch. Don't give them nothing, because they'll take it from you. And I had a big one take it from me, and he had me pinned up in the pads, got the leverage, and he was gone. Okay, and that was right after I caught my first keeper, the second keeper on the boat. And I know it was a big fish, and it would have been a game changer, because that was the first fish I lost. And from that point on, my mental state was not good. I never recovered, you know, I never recovered, and I should have, but I didn't. From there, I think I lost at least 3 or 4 more fish visually that I could see. You know, they come up on top of the vegetation and come off. Just not a good hook in them. And at the end of the day, at weigh-in, looking at the weights, looking at what I saw come up with my hook, you know, on top of the vegetation, we would have won that tournament hands down, blown it out the water. You hear it all the time, but I am telling you the truth. We were in the right area, we were throwing the right baits, but we were not converting, okay? Our percentage was awful. But it was a great learning experience. I'm trying to share it with you guys so you can become better fishermen, better tournament anglers, because I know after a day like that, a tournament like that, I'm better. I won't make those same mistakes, and I hope you don't too. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you watching. If you like it, smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell. I got more stuff coming, and I guarantee you it's only going to help you, and it's going to help me as well. So, thank you, and y'all have a good night.